Welcome back to another episode of Convos with Camo. In this episode, we're going to be going over a few different things, kind of give you an update on what I've been doing. It's been a busy time for everyone, I'm sure. What a crazy time to be alive. But been studying a lot, been reading a lot, working on myself, working on being better at my day job, getting obsessed with becoming that next version I can every single day. So in this episode, we're going to be going over something that people are calling the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Some things I'm doing to take a part in that. Hopefully it can give you some inspiration to get after it yourself. Kind of go over some books I've been reading. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so the wealth transfer is kind of interesting. I'll kind of just go over some things I've been noticing. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we all can kind of understand that the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. So my mentors always tell me that's just a mindset, right? It's the mindset we have, it's our relationship with money, because oftentimes people have a pretty bad relationship when it comes to money and how to make it, because we're just taught to go get a good job, go sell your time for money, which is honestly the worst way to get money. It's kind of backwards. And I've been told a lot, you have a value-based mindset. So what does that mean exactly? It's that most of your time is spent on things that are most important to you. So you got to ask yourself that. You got to make a list of things, 1 through 5, 1 through 10, on the most important things in your life. And I'd argue that for pretty much everyone, faith and family, I mean, that's top 2 for most people. Faith, family, your fitness, your health overall, right? Hobbies and passions and things that you're excited about. Finances and money is usually 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10th on the list for you. But it's interesting that it's so far down, and yet we spend so much time every single week, every single month, every single day spending it trying to get that paycheck. And this guy Kevin O'Leary I've been digging into recently. He's one of the guys on Shark Tank. He says the paycheck is the drug they give you to keep coming back. And it's hard to break out of that mindset. It is. It's a challenge because it's so safe, it's so secure. What I've come to realize is that no job is secure. And I guess for me, but to have that mentality on the job world, it's forced me to develop other streams of income. And it's forced me to work harder on myself than I do on my job, because then it kind of translates. So I've always been told, do more than what you're paid for. And that's the easiest way to climb up the chain. If whatever you're up to, if you're in the S quadrant, if you ever study Robert Kiyosaki's The 4 Quadrants, there's E, S, B, I. You can put a picture of it somewhere over here. The E and S quadrant would be, you'll get your employees there, selling the time for money. You got the S quadrant right below that, and that would be selling your mind for money. What do you know? Which is a great thing. You can often get paid a lot. Doctors, lawyers, even got small business owners like flooring and carpentry and things like that. Still selling time for money. There's still so much time in the day. So the real way to generate income is the B quadrant and the I quadrant. So B quadrant would be big businesses, and what you're really doing is you're selling other people's time for money, or you're working with other partners and you're leveraging time in that way. So that would be the route to try and get to. Got to try and jump over the line. And that requires a lot of self-development. That requires a lot of reading. Requires switching up your input, and it requires you focusing on what you do every single day and if it's valuing your life. If all you want to do is be a really good employee, then more power to you, good for you, get after it, right? Like, that's cool, good for you. If you want to be a good employee, you probably got a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree and you're happy with where you're at, comfortable, right? You got a good paycheck coming in, maybe you got a savings plan going on, you got some security going. I just want to challenge you to look at how secure jobs really are. And I've been able to do that and redirect my focus, because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save me. And I think if you have that mindset about life, it kind of forces you to have some security, try and build some security of your own, and don't rely on other people to have security over you, because when it comes down to it, if you're in a big business, if you're working for a big corporation, you are just a number to them. That's what it comes down to. If you're not performing, you're out the door. Hate to break it to you. But You got the B quadrant, other people's time for money, and then right below that, that's the I quadrant. That's where we all gotta be. The I quadrant is selling or is making money off of your money. So you got the B quadrant, you're making money from other people's time, and you got the I quadrant where you're making money from your own money, and that would be, investing. That would be putting your money into something that's going to get you money back, good returns on your money. What's the return on your investment, the ROI? And I've been able to do that, thankfully, because of some people I got tied into this mentorship group who really started shaping my mind in a different way of thinking. So, other people that are successful, they're not better than you or I. They just have access to more information and better information. And when they get that information, they apply it. So yeah, knowledge is power. But there's another way to think of it, or applied knowledge is power. So if you're not doing anything with the knowledge you're given, then it's just going to waste. So in regards to the wealth transfer, some interesting numbers I looked into recently on Forbes, I believe it was, is kind of blows my mind. The 10 richest men in the world, their combined income in 2020 was $700 billion. Okay, so that alone is insane. That alone is like these numbers, when it gets to billions and trillions, we don't really understand how much that is. That's just, there's no way we can wrap our minds around that. But just hear me out here, I'll try and give some perspective of that. So they went from 700 billion, and in 2 years they went to $1.3 trillion. It's a pretty massive jump in wealth. I'm not all upset about people making a lot of money. I'm not one of those guys. Whether you are or not, it doesn't matter to me. But my question is how did that happen? How did they do that? And why did they do that, right? So what's the why? What's the reasoning behind this wealth transfer? What's going on, and how can I take a part of it? Some perspective for that jump. In 2 years, that's making $1.3 billion a day, or $15,000 every second for 2 years. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. That's just interesting perspective in my opinion. But we need to talk a little bit about wealth, because there's different definitions of wealth. Most people think it's just money, and that's fine. But when it comes down to it, I think it's more than just money. I don't even think you can consider someone wealthy if they have a lot of money anymore. Because you look at billionaires and these guys who are owning multi-million-dollar companies, most of them are miserable. They're working 100 hours a week. They don't spend time with any of their friends and family. They don't have any time to do things they love. They're just workaholics. And maybe that's for them, but when it comes down to it, they're miserable. They're not living the life they want. Yeah, they got a lot of money, but do they have any time to spend it and use it on things they love and get to spend quality time with people? Time is the most important asset to me, and it doesn't have to be that way for anyone, but I think we can all agree that spending time with people you love, that's way more rewarding than earning a paycheck. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. That kind of made me think a little bit too. It made me realize, so the important thing in my life is generating enough passive income that I don't need to work at a day job anymore. That's been my mission since I was 18 years old. And there's a lot of different ways to go about that. But if you're not doing something, if you're doing anything outside of your day job and it's not scalable, then it's not worth it. So anything you try and build needs to be repeatable and duplicatable. So that if the asset you're developing isn't repeatable or duplicatable, then it's not worth it. So the way I am taking advantage of some of this wealth shift is investing. I think that's the easiest way to go about it. I think the majority of people probably watching this have some sort of investment going on, and more power to you, good for you. Keep it up, right? Start dollar cost averaging in, put something in monthly, find things you love. So when it comes to investing, for me, you got to have that portfolio, make sure it's diversified. And I am probably, to be fully transparent here, I'm about 80% in crypto. So now you know, okay? 80% in crypto. Now, why? Well, because the top guys that I hang out with, these multimillionaires that I qualified for to earn their time, they're very, very bullish on crypto. It's bullish meaning they think it's going to go up, right, in the long term. So I started doing my research, doing my due diligence, making sure that I can have some belief in this. And the more you study crypto, the more you start understanding the underlying technology behind it. And that would be blockchain. The whole point of studying a company that you want to invest in is to build belief in that. So let's say, for example, you wanted to invest in Ford. You start researching more, you start to understand what their mission is, they've got 10, 15 years of planning in the future. They want to implement such and such, so many vehicles, so many electronic vehicles. That's going to be the future, right? So that's going to give you more belief, and your emotions can get so tied up into it. Making money is it's a logical game, and it's just a game when it comes down to it. But take your emotions out of it, because I know for me, when I first started, I was very emotional with my money. And if it was low and I didn't have belief in it, I would sell. And that's the only way you lose money if you're investing by yourself. If you sell, that's the only way you lose money. So never sell, right? Never sell. When it's low, you buy more. And when it's high, you kind of chill. So there's a greed and fear index that I encourage you guys to look into. That can kind of show you where the market's going. And it's very interesting to be in a situation where it's like, okay, the market's really greedy right now. What does that mean? What should you do if the market's greedy? Okay, and what should you do if the market's fearful? If the market's fearful and it's down, buy more. That's a little bit on investing in some things that I've been working on. But what I wanted to jump into next was some books I've been reading. I'll show you a few right now. Just cracking these ones open for now. But Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is a book. Whoops. This is a book you got to read every single year. Think and Grow Rich. Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink. I'm sure you guys have all heard of this guy. Incredible leader, and this is a book on leadership. And if you've done any studying on leadership, you understand that everything rises and falls on leadership. And Good to Great, haven't cracked this one open yet, but it's by a guy named Jim Collins. He's also co-author of a best-selling book called Built to Last. So Good to Great, I'm excited to dig into that one. This book's pretty special to me. Shout out to Andrew Boyd for loaning me this one. Cracked it open. I've listened to the audio version a few times. It's called Outwitting the Devil, also a book by Napoleon Hill. Incredible book. I mean, incredible. And can't really say much on this because I don't want to offend people, but essentially it's the fact that all the adversary can do to you is make you drift. That's it. I don't think time is on our side right now. If you are in the process of trying to build something, to build a company, to better yourself every single day, I don't think time is on our side. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or try and fearmonger you or anything like that. That's not my goal. My goal is to inspire you to be better than who you were yesterday. Today's ceiling is tomorrow's floor, right? So just continue to get better. The more problems you solve, the better route you're going. The harder problems you solve, the more you're going to get paid. We get paid in direct proportion to how many people we help and serve. So with that, I'll let you guys out of here. A little after time here, but you guys are awesome. Appreciate all you guys who see this. Like, share, comment, and subscribe below. It means a lot to me. Trying to build an audience here and spread my word out because it's just what I want to do. I figured out I'm kind of passionate about this and trying to explore different avenues of things I'm passionate about and building hobbies. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Until next time, stay free, stay hungry, and stay alive and well. God bless.